Our careers. I'm Laura Torres, and we're tackling military spouse unemployment here at Blue Star Careers. So join us and tag your mil spouse best friend. Pay it forward by making your military spouse network, aware of this resource. We welcome you to another Spouse First Lives career webinar. In collaboration with Intuit, we will share with you how you can earn more income, set your own hours, work remotely. Oh, and yes, make it a portable career. So join us. Well, hello, hello. Thank you once again for joining us here at one more Spouse First Live Careers webinar, powered by Blue Star Careers. Thank you so much for joining us and for always supporting. And once again, please pay it forward. If you have a military spouse looking for a portable, great career that travels with them, but also it's flexible and allows you to work from home, then this is the one that you definitely want to share and pay it forward with our community. And just so that you know, I'm just going to give you some food for thought before I introduce our special guest today. There are 582 million entrepreneurs in the world. Wow. Census Bureau of the United States reported that more than 4.4 million new businesses were created in the United States during the 2020 year. So what does that mean? It's the highest ever. To me, that tells me that by becoming a QuickBooks Live bookkeeper, you help small businesses manage their books every day, month to month, which means there's potential for career growth and support all year long. And this career will never, ever fade out because small businesses are being created every day. But without further ado, let's bring Blair, our subject matter expert today from QuickBooks and from Intuit, who is supporting us today. And so before I put your name and tongue twist your last name, Blair, please introduce yourself and tell us all about you and your career with Intuit.
Sure. Awesome, Laura. Thanks so much for inviting me on today and really happy to be here. My name is Blair Dribbin. I'm a recruiter with Intuit. I've been supporting Intuit for about 7 years now, and over the last almost 3 years, specifically tied to our QuickBooks Live bookkeepers and the QuickBooks Live product overall, as well as customer success. The minute I started supporting Intuit about 7 years ago, I knew right away this was a wonderful organization, just by the people that I was interacting with, the focus on customer problems and solving our customer problems, and the products that we offer to our customers as well really truly do help power prosperity for them and help them get their finances in line. So I think that's something really special and something that I'm very proud of to work for this organization. I'm currently sitting out of the San Diego area, so not too far away from Laura. And I come from a military background as well. My dad did 15 years in the Army, a few years Navy Reserve, and is still actually active in the Air Force Reserve. So, greatly appreciate everybody's sacrifices that you've made, not only as a spouse, but also for your partners and spouses, all the, the courage and responsibility and sacrifices that they've made as well. So greatly appreciate it. And again, happy to be here today and share more with you about the QuickBooks Live bookkeeper opportunities.
Great. Thank you so much. And I do want to remind everyone who's watching to please post your questions. We will acknowledge towards the end all of your questions, and we will address those. So we'll set out some time, as well as please share with us. This has become a tradition with all of our webinars now to please tell us where you're at, where are you watching from? Because we are streaming in over 11 different communities here with Blue Star Families. All of our chapters are connected today. So we want to be able to give you and send you a shout out and appreciate your time for watching and supporting Blair here, the Intuit team, and of course, our Spouse First community. So thank you so much for everyone who's here watching already and for supporting. But again, to remind you, pay it forward. Make sure that you share with everyone about this resource. And if you have any more questions or you just simply need to just walk away right now, come back to our Spouse First virtual community where you will find all the latest updates about this particular webinar and others for military spouses. So now, Blair, let's just head on to the discussion.
Sure.
So what is it like to become a QuickBooks bookkeeper? A day to day, the life. You're going to share with us some really great, interesting
Yeah.
opportunities for individuals how to become that.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, QuickBooks Live Bookkeepers are really just in support of our small and medium-sized businesses that are QuickBooks Online users, right? So, it can range from a self-employed individual who uses QuickBooks Online to somebody who has a few employees, 10 employees and up or so, and we're actually getting into the mid-market space of supporting up to 100 employees. But really, at a high level, you are providing bookkeeping services to our QuickBooks Online customers, right? They ultimately have a passion as an entrepreneur or a small business owner to run their own business, right? And what they typically don't find a joy in is managing their books, right? And keeping all those things in line. So that's where we come in, and we really help guide them and manage their books for them so they can put all their focus and time and efforts into their business and not into the bookkeeping. When you think about somebody venturing into starting their own business, they don't do it because they want to do their own books, because they want to be a bookkeeper. They do it because they're passionate about the product or service they're going to be offering to their customers. And so we're really happy to be able to help make them more successful and take a little bit of that weight off their shoulders from a bookkeeping perspective.
Absolutely. And military spouses are not strangers to self employment and small businesses. In fact, a lot of them, there's a great percentage of military spouses that create their own business and their own side hustles. So, until they find a meaningful and portable career. So, a lot of them are very familiar with that. And then we always like to, of course, share it and tell everyone, of course, don't do it all yourself in the entrepreneurial world, outsource it. And this is
Mhm.
a great way for them to be able to outsource some of those needs by hiring and supporting Intuit, and of course, some of potential military spouses that might be bookkeepers, supporting them as well with their business growth.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another important part to call out specific to this community is that these roles always have been and will always be remote and virtual within the 50 United States. So you do need to be located within the U.S. to work in these positions. And there's flexible set schedules that you get to choose from. So being that you may have a new PCS coming and or you're moving and whatever the case being, you can take this job with you, which I think is really cool. And if you still are taking care of some young kids at home too, the flexible schedule and the hours ranging from 20 to 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday, really allows you to do some manage other aspects of your life as well.
Absolutely. And I do want to put you on the spot here with our Census Bureau. I was very surprised that 4.4 million new businesses were created in 2020. Are you in your trajectory with Intuit and doing this, recruiting role? Are you surprised with how much growth in entrepreneurships and small businesses were created during that year?
It does align with what we're seeing on our side from a business growth perspective within the QuickBooks products and the segments and features that we're continuing to build out. I think probably the pandemic had a lot to do with people deciding maybe now's the time to do my own business. Obviously, online and e-commerce has been booming, and that's probably driving a little bit of it as well. But it might have been the kind of final push that a lot of individuals needed to finally take the chance on creating their own small business. So no, it definitely aligns with what we're seeing as well.
Absolutely. And so, with that, we're going to go into just to learn more a little bit further, and you can walk us through it inside look of how to become a bookkeeper with QuickBooks Live.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to do that. So yeah, just kind of our intro slide here and moving on. That I already introduced myself and shared a little bit about me. I really don't have enough good things to say about Intuit. Just a truly great organization, great people, great products, and a great mission. Our flagship products, of course, you can see on the screen here, TurboTax, which is our DIY tax software, QuickBooks products, Mint, and recent acquisitions of Credit Karma and MailChimp as well. And Intuit's been around for about over 35 years now, and really the idea of the company came about from our founder Scott Cook, where he was sitting at his dinner table with his wife, and they were battling through trying to balance their checkbook, and he's like, "Gosh, there's got to be a better way, right?" And so, out of that problem statement, he came up with, Intuit and all the products that follow years after to help service our customers there. So really truly an amazing story. We're a 30-year-old startup, I like to say, because we still have that mentality and scrappiness and drive and eagerness to solve our customers' problems. So here, just one thing I wanted to share out too. Intuit does have a military and veteran initiative program as well, and this is really just tied to putting more focus on the military and veteran community. Here's some figures on the screen here that you can see, and we realize the importance of this community, how much they sacrifice and give to our country, and we want to be able to give back and pay it forward for them as well. All right. So, what's interesting about Intuit, and why should you, potentially want to work for Intuit, right? Well, our products are top rated. Our organization is top rated as well. QuickBooks Online is the #1 rated solution by our customers. And with our virtual network, we can help out our customers do their books and make smart final decisions, and really help them stay in business. I don't remember the exact statistic, but a lot of small businesses, I think around 50%, end up failing within the first few years. And our thought is that if we can help, manage some of the back end bookkeeping and financial aspects for these small, medium-sized business owners, that they'll have a higher ratio to stay in business here. So, we're doing a lot of great things for small businesses, which are truly the backbone of our economy here. And at the top here, you can see, we are regularly recognized and rated as top places to work. So we have, ranked number 11, Fortune's 100 Best Companies to Work For. People Magazine has rated us for companies that care. That's directly related to giving back to our communities. Forbes America Best Employers for Diversity, which is a big focus for a lot of organizations these days here. So this isn't new for us. We are regularly recognized and rated in the top here of a lot of large enterprise level organizations within the country, and we're even just recognized globally as one of the best places to work as well. So a lot of stuff to be proud of, and that's directly related to the work that we're doing for our customers. And Intuit, these roles are wonderful because it gives you options in the new normal, right? And like I mentioned, you can work remote across all 50 states. You're earning extra income. Let's say you're a bookkeeper or an accountant right now and you have your own clients. You can still keep them. We encourage you to keep them. And then you can use those skills and experience to come on over to the Intuit side as an Intuit QuickBooks Live bookkeeper and earn some extra income. Use those skills that you have. We provide you with all the tools and resources that you need to do there. So it's a great way to supplement income. And we do have a number of options of set schedules that you can choose from that best suits you, right? These roles are all W-2 hourly, and they do include benefits as well, which from a benchmarking perspective, not a lot of other virtual part-time roles offer a benefits package as well. And then I'll share a little bit more about the schedule and a little bit more about the roles here. We have a number of schedules that you could work. So the roles are part-time. The minimum requirement would be 20 hours a week. Those hours would need to be worked between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. We do have options for you to work 25, 29, and even up to 40 hours a week within that time frame. And that Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific is the QuickBooks Online regular business hours. So that's why we have the schedule set that way. And there's a lot of different options for you to pick. We have morning options, we have midday, and we even have like late afternoon and into the evening options too. And since we do service a large Spanish-speaking customer base, if you are fluent and bilingual in Spanish, that's a plus too here. We can put you in touch with those customers. You can offer even better service to them. And what are we looking for when we're hiring individuals for these roles? So here's our basic requirements here. We're looking for around 1 year experience working with QuickBooks Online software. I get a lot of questions from folks saying, "Oh, I've worked with QuickBooks Desktop. Is that the same?" The products are different. The QuickBooks Online is the cloud-based version and the more up-to-date and innovative software offering we have. Desktop is the older desktop version. Having that experience in desktop is great, but it's not a true apples to apples rollover to the QuickBooks Online. So we are looking for practical experience with the QuickBooks Online software, as well as an active QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certification. The QBO Pro Advisor certification, it's free for you to complete. Takes about 8 to 12 hours of your time. I think there's going to be some additional info and links shared out here throughout the presentation, and even afterwards that Laura can share out. But that's really just how we honor our promise to our customer, right? When you're a small business owner, you use QuickBooks Online, you connect with your QuickBooks Live bookkeeper, you know that they are certified within the QuickBooks Online product, they're an expert with the product, and they're going to provide you with the best guidance and advice to do books within that software platform. In addition to that, we're looking for around 3 years experience managing books for a small business. That would be paid bookkeeping experience. Some things that come to mind when I think about that would be, you know, um, doing quarterly year-end close, doing books cleanup, doing reconciliation, categorization, pulling reports, chart of accounts, just overall management of the books. For a small business, we get a lot of individuals who are interested and have an accounting background, and there's definitely some crossover and parallels there. But ideally, we're looking for that bookkeeping experience. And additionally, it would be preferred if you have a bachelor's degree in accounting or finance. That is not required. And then being credentialed with a CPA or CPB would also be a plus. Again, not required. You'll see on the bottom here, no experience, right? Learn about new certification from Intuit. There's a link there to our Intuit bookkeeping professional certification, and that's really going to level you up from a kind of an entry point on bookkeeping and accounting principles tied to bookkeeping. So more information on that there. That is through Coursera, and then there's a final exam for that proctored through Pearson VUE. But really helpful if you're especially looking to get into this space. It can really help you out there. Awesome. So what does the recruiting process look like here? We have been hiring pretty regularly over the last 2.5, 3 years for QuickBooks Live. So we have a streamlined process in place here. You can see by the image on the screen here a few steps. And essentially, how do you get started? Well, you fill out an application, or you go to the job board and complete a lead form and just express your interest in the role. There'll be some links here that you can access and apply. But essentially, after you complete that application process, the next step would be connecting with a recruiter for a phone screen. That's a 20 to 30-minute conversation with a recruiter. They'll dig in more to your relevant skills and experience, learn more about your background, ask you some questions to gauge your level of experience with QuickBooks and bookkeeping. That time they'll also be able to share out more information with you regarding the duties, responsibilities, next steps in the process, answer any questions you have. And if that goes well, they'll move you along to the next step in the process, which is a 45-minute online interview via the HireVue platform. This is a unique interview process. It's a little different because you're talking one way to the computer here. It's not a live interview. There's pre-recorded video questions from QuickBooks Live hiring managers that you'll respond to with video responses. There are other questions where you will respond via written response. And then the remaining ones are true or false, multiple choice, and they're all related to bookkeeping and QuickBooks Online. The cool thing about that HireVue interview is that you can take it at a date and time that works best for you. So it's very convenient. And the second part that I really like and I think is important is that it's the same interview for every candidate that we consider. So it's very consistent, eliminates any type of bias through that process as well. So it's a really good interview process that we have there. So you complete that. Typically, it'll take about a week or two to have 2 evaluations completed on that interview. And then the next step from there, if you did well, would be your recruiter reaching back out to you saying, hey, you did great. We want to extend you an offer for an upcoming hire date. At that time, they'll talk through everything tied from compensation to benefits to schedule to onboarding, etc. So then we would initiate all that onboarding. First one being the background check. Once we see you've initiated that, you would get your official offer letter, your Intuit new hire paperwork, your I-9, your internet speed diagnostic test as well. And then simultaneously, we'll verify the internet speed test. We'll verify your QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certification as well. And then once you complete and pass all the onboarding items, you'll have a hire date. And our hire dates are always on a Friday. So the week of your start date, you'll receive communication from your training lead about your first day Friday. All of your equipment that we provide you with will arrive on Friday as well. By the way, the equipment is no charge to you. That's something that we provide to you to set you up for success in this role. That would include a laptop, excuse me, Ethernet cable, a headset, webcam, USB hub, and I think they used to include a backdrop as well. So I believe they're still doing that too. So you'd have all that arrive on your first day. You'll have a brief orientation on your first day. And then following your first day, Friday, that next Monday, you will have the start of your 2 weeks of paid training. After your 2 weeks of paid training, you'll then start servicing our customers. And our paid training really focuses on our tools, systems, and processes and really helps to set you up for success for starting in this role. Um, and we just have a ton of great resources available to you while you're being trained. You'll be partnered up with a buddy. We have leads and managers who will help you out, a lot of good content for you to review. So, although you're working remote and virtual, there's a really strong sense of belonging and team, and they'll really help to level you up so you can be successful in this role as well. So that's kind of high level overview on the roles. And I just can't stress enough how great opportunities these are for the mill spouse community, allowing you to work virtually, remote, anywhere within the 50 US states. You can take your job with you if you have to move anywhere else, flexible schedules, competitive pay, benefits, and an opportunity for you to help support small businesses, which I think is really gratifying as well. So I'm really happy to be able to share these opportunities with you today. We got some links here available for you. If you want to learn more, you can join Talent Community. We have the links for the Intuit Bookkeeping certification, which helps level you up on the accounting and bookkeeping aspects, and then even a link for you to apply as well. So I'll kick it back over to Laura now, and maybe there's some questions that we could answer.
Absolutely. And wow, if I may say, wow, you not only setting us up for success with, with having an incredible, portable, remote, and flexible career for lots of military spouses that I'm sure will fit this community, and even for individuals who just want to make some extra money, like you mentioned, part-time, 20 hours a week is the minimum. I'm sure there will be some individuals that can take advantage of that and squeeze some hours over the weekend, support, and get some great questions, but also, I mean, great career trajectory and start building that. But also the fact that, there's a certification and a training option and no cost to the male spouse. It's
Mm-hmm.
even more added on. And if I may season it and sparkle it a little bit better, you are given the entire equipment and everything else
Yeah.
so that no one has to worry about that. Um, and is this, let me ask you here, and I do have some questions here from our community, which, by the way, everyone, the links are all shared and there should be under the comments. So this webinar, wherever you're airing, wherever it's airing and you're watching from, please look at the comments and it's been shared by our team. But also I wanted to ask you, Blair, is the equipment, let's say, if I travel, if I relocate from one state to another, I start here my position here with you guys, part
Mm-hmm.
time in the San Diego area. And let's say I get orders in the fall and I relocate to Missouri. Does that equipment go with me? Do I have to?
Oh yeah, and it's easy to move. It's really just laptop headset, a webcam, Ethernet cable, USB hub. So it's easy for you just to box up and bring with you, and plug it back into your new internet or your new location in Missouri, and you're good to go.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. I'm going to bring in some questions here for everyone. And then also I'm going to take some time to send shout outs to everyone who's definitely watching and supporting from the multiple communities.
Great.
I do have a question here from one of our LinkedIn supporters. It says, all of the job opportunities require having a finance accounting background. Is that
Um, so that's preferred if you have a degree in accounting and finance. It is not required. So that is not a requirement. No.
okay? Great. Thank you for that. Now, I am going to put you on the spot too, and forgive me if I do in that.
That's okay.
But military spouses, sometimes when they're not working, because you mentioned paid experience. Sometimes when they're not working, there are. 'Cause I know this wonderful, wonderful male spouse who supports and volunteers with us,
Yeah.
and she has a great background in bookkeeping and finance because she does all the books for the military spouse clubs, for her club, and so she's been doing this for lots of years, fundraises for them with them, and also takes care of all the obligations and all that. Is that perhaps consider maybe a flexibility once they discuss it
Yeah.
with you? And
Definitely. I think that's something that during the conversation with one of the recruiters, they can dig into that a little bit further. And if it turns out she was, doing books on a volunteer basis and the experience lines up well, that can absolutely be considered. And we'd be happy to chat with that individual and learn more.
Great, because she's not the only one. I know
Yeah,
lots of other
definitely.
ones who volunteer tremendously through the local installation groups or
Hmm.
family readiness groups. So and they everyone has almost a fundraising option, and they do books and all those things. And of course, everyone will be
Great.
different. Now, here's this other question: does this position include home video time with clients?
Yeah, so all of these roles are customer facing. And so we have an internal proprietary software called Smart Look Video Call feature. And essentially, you'll have your meetings scheduled with your clients that you're supporting ahead of time. It's not a call center environment at all. You'll know what your meetings are for the week, who your clients are. And when you connect with them via that Smart Look Video Call feature, you'll pop up on their screen in a small window, just so they can see your face. And so this allows our customer to know they're connecting with a real live expert. And then what you see is their QuickBooks Online software. So you're almost kind of like remoting into their software. So you can see, advise, and guide them how and where to do things within QuickBooks Online software. So it is customer facing. And so that is a requirement of the role.
Talking about customer faces, so I got rid of our any questions page so that we can be a little more closer to our team who's watching, because I wanted
Cool.
to really highlight all of these questions. So here, Crystal watching and asking, do you have any QuickBook experience and do you offer training? So I think we addressed that, but if you want to share that once more, Blair.
Yeah. So I'll tackle that this way. If you don't have any QuickBooks Online experience, a great first step would be to complete your QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certification. That's going to level you up on the latest and greatest with the QuickBooks Online software. And if you're at the same time, if you don't have any bookkeeping experience, I'd recommend doing the Intuit Professional Bookkeeping Certificate as well. And that's a good start. If you have both of those, then I think it's a good opportunity for you to have a conversation with a recruiter and see how things progress from there.
Absolutely. I do have one more question here. Are there any restrictions for the states? And you did mention that, but again, just remind our team who's watching out there. You did say it covers all 50 states.
That's right. All 50 states. You have to be continental US, and that does include Alaska and Hawaii. We have bookkeepers working in both those states as well. You just cannot be outside of the US.
So they cannot physically be, for instance, in South Korea, even though they
Correct.
are residents of a specific state, but for order purposes are physically reside out there. That cannot.
Correct. Right. Yeah,
No.
you have to physically reside within the United States.
All right. Yes, because we always get that question. Always, always, always. And individuals always want to know. Okay, we're going to go real quick here through our shout outs. And we just want to say thank you, Andrew. He comments great information. Priscilla, who's watching also from sunny San Diego. So, hey, Priscilla, this is a great place to work, perhaps. Can I get started as a live QuickBooks bookkeeper? And let's say a few years down the road, Blair, I decide, hey, I want to transfer into a different area of expertise or help you recruit. How does that process work internally once you become an Intuit employee?
Yeah. So let's say you start as a QuickBooks Live bookkeeper. We have 4 different levels that we hire at there: associate bookkeeper, senior associate, expert, and then senior expert. And those are really just tied to your level of experience and credentials. Um, those are all part-time roles still. Once you move from there, internally, it would be into a lead bookkeeper role. That's still part-time, but a minimum of 30 hours a week. We historically only promote from within, from bookkeeper to lead bookkeeper. And then from lead bookkeeper, you'd go to a manager 1 position. That's when the role becomes full-time, 40 plus hours a week. You're a full-time employee. Your benefits package expands. Your compensation would obviously be in line with that role. And again, from the lead to manager, we historically only promote from within for those roles because we want the individuals in the management positions to have that experience working in the weeds, understanding the customers and the product, et cetera. And then I think once you get into that manager 1 space, there's an opportunity for you to explore other roles and other business units within Intuit as an organization. And that's the typical path we see for individuals. So there is a career path. There's plenty of opportunity. And it's all tied to your performance and good work, of course.
Great. And as I continue also to go through, again, just the shout outs, and I do have a couple questions down below, but I'm going to get through the shout outs real quick before we run out of time.
Sure.
Kansas is also in watching all the way sunny over there today. Oh, it's going to snow tomorrow. Do you
Sure.
miss snow, Blair? I
No,
don't think we
I
have
don't.
yet.
No.
And I think we already answered, yeah, we already answered Crystal's question. Um, and anyway, so one more shout out here down below. I linked to users. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes. And then one more shout out here. Um, oh, Jennifer, right here. It's a question. What does the pay scale look like, if you can speak to that? And I imagine it will be different state to state,
Yeah.
but just on an average range or anything that you can share that is important.
Yeah, so I'll speak to that more general. You're right. It does it fluctuates between your geographic location and your levels of experience and the role that you would get hired in at. It is hourly W-2, so these are not contract or 1099 positions. You would be a part-time employee of Intuit. Your paychecks come from Intuit. Your benefits will come from Intuit, and the pay rates range depending on where you live, cost of living there, and the level you get hired at. I can say that from a benchmarking perspective, for similar roles within the United States, and what I'm speaking about is remote, virtual, um, part-time positions, our total offering with the hourly pay rates and benefits and bonus that we offer, there's an 8.5% fiscal year end bonus tied to your performance as well. It's very competitive when you look at other opportunities in the similar space.
And if I may also just, from my previous, which has been a very, very long time, my previous tax professional experience
Hmm.
in this particular industry, it is Intuit. Intuit at some point, just so that shameless plug here, Blair, I
Yeah.
did applied previous to my current role. I did applied and consider as a tax professional, which has nothing to do with QuickBooks, but it was extremely competitive, and I was so happy and
That's
so
great.
just excited to see what a competitive pay that were offering me as a tax professional versus my previous experience. And I was completely in shock what the difference it was. So I can just imagine what a QuickBooks live professional who's supporting small businesses, the competitive pay might be like. I mean, I can actually picture in my head how
Yeah.
competitive and rewarding that will be. Now, I
Awesome.
also want to send someone over in Palm Springs a big shout out. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, and one last quick question as we get closer here to our time. What are some of those tips and tricks that you can share with us, Blair,
Hmm.
for us, for military spouse, for future applicants to consider when it comes to maybe the resume tailoring? Is there the application process?
Hmm.
Again, just run us down through that real quick.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. That's a great question. I think for individuals who are looking to get into this space and maybe don't have as much experience as we're looking for, a great first step would be to complete that QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certification. Again, that's free. It takes about 8 to 12 hours of your time. And there's some training modules before each section in that. So I highly recommend doing that. I know there's some links shared out here on that. And then additionally, do the Intuit Professional Bookkeeping certification as well. For mill spouse, like Laura stated earlier, there's no cost associated with those courses. That one's I think can be anywhere from 40 to 80 hours of your time, but it's pretty comprehensive. If you have both of those certificates prior to applying, it'll help you get through the process more, because those are things that we look for. And obviously the QBO Pro Advisor certificate, the first one I mentioned, is required to be hired for the roles. So if I'm seeing a candidate who has that versus a candidate who doesn't, we're more likely to prioritize the candidate who already has the certificates coming through the process here. So I would encourage you to do that as a first step. If you already have those, that's fantastic in terms of tailoring your resume for these types of opportunities, really just calling out those core bookkeeping duties or responsibilities that you have experience with that I mentioned earlier, right? So maintaining books, cleanup, close, reconciliation, categorization, any familiarity with, how a small business operates, any call outs there that are going to jump out on the resume are going to be super helpful. So, and if you don't have that exact experience, anything relevant to the accounting space, that would be a nice, kind of spill over into this space.
Great. Thank you for that. And yes, all of the links are posted down below. So make sure that you are, again, reviewing under the comments. And if not, please the best way for you to find out and to get access to all of that. Or if you still had more questions, of course, is to go to our Spouse First virtual community and to join the community, join our group, and post your questions. We'll be happy to answer and tailor any specific messages for you, as well as share all the links again for you to be able to explore every single one of them, and just again continue to just simply review your options and consider them, as well as pay it forward and share with our military spouse community. If you belong to another network, if you belong to a military spouse club out there, and you think maybe some of your members, it would be a great way for you to pay it forward to some of your members by sharing this additional great resource that is available, because this is, again, it's a portable, flexible career, and you do get to earn some great income. And I mean it. I mean, from a tax professional standpoint, that's like the very entry level. This QuickBooks is a little bit higher hierarchy in the support system for small businesses. Now, I do want to also just real quick, Blair, ask for you, when does the hiring timeline end? Because I know that there are certain, is this something year round, or is this something that will end like in 2 weeks, or does the application closes? Is there a closing, or does it ongoing year round?
Yeah, so these roles are all year round, and as such, we're typically hiring year round. Right now, we just wrapped up hiring for our March classes. Obviously, we're quickly moving through March, which is pretty wild how quickly things move. But we're focusing on June hire dates right now. We have a couple hire dates in June, so we're actively hiring for those dates. So if you're interested, you have time to get those credentials and certifications and apply and go through the interview process and hopefully be onboarded for those June hire dates we have. So, if you're interested, I would take a proactive approach and start moving through things quickly so we can get you on board. We're actively extending offers for qualified individuals right now for those June hire dates.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And this has been incredibly helpful learning, and also just very exciting to be able to share with our community members, what a great opportunity they have in order for them to be able to take this portable career with them to any of the 50 states. So any last minute thoughts as we close our chat and our webinar?
No, I'm just, again, thank you so much for the invite here today, and to everybody who took time out of their busy day to listen in to Laura and I, and who might listen in at a later date via some of our other channels. Just really greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, I would encourage you to apply. You don't know if you don't try, right? So I would definitely encourage you to apply. And this could end up being a great flexible remote opportunity for individuals like yourself who are looking for part-time work with a great organization and truly helping small businesses out as well. It's really a win-win across the board. So I look forward to seeing some applications come through. And again, thank you to our military spouse community for everything you do and everything your spouses do as well. Greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you to you also, Blair, for your support and for acknowledging, how essential our military spouse community it is to our day-to-day small businesses world, and how they can help and support them thrive through their growth, and by sharing some great expertise as a bookkeeper. So thank
Of
you so much
course.
for being here and for
You bet.
supporting our employment program. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody.